or make you laugh, make you cry like Ain't Life Funny. Ugh.
Ranger Crane over here with the goddamn Lux
Man, look,
Cafe cafes. Oh,
look, man. Like I'm just trying to,
I'm a coffee. You know me, man. I'm a coffee connoisseur.
This coffee that I'm talking about is like better than 7-Eleven coffee at your house, dog. Just within a matter of minutes. That's why I was like, just get up and make some.
Let me blow your mind real quick, Aaron. I haven't been to I haven't had 7-Eleven in almost a year. I will never have 7-Eleven coffee again. And we've gone over it.
I mean, yeah, I haven't had it in a long time either. So I mean, I could dig it, but like to me, it's not good anymore because I make my own now. So
I mean,
I
you
got that
fucking
upper
like
echelon.
what is that? A gold cup? Goddamn. Okay, King Midas. I thought I was.
I am, dog.
Hey, son, what the fuck?
You know who I am, dog. I just got a new job. I told you, bro. Shit's good around here, man.
I wanna be.
That's.
What's up, MTV? Come on in, you broke mother. See how I'm living.
What we ended on in the last podcast was not to believe, the programming and shit, and that really times ain't hard as you think they is and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm talking about.
It's a new day.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I mean, but I gotta just salute the fucking Lux Gold Cup. I mean, we don't show you the video of these episodes, guys, because quite honestly, we gotta save some reputation, I think. But I mean, Aaron's rocking a gold cup.
This isn't even mine. First, this is mine.
You don't have to tell me all this. Just
this isn't my cup.
You lane, man. I'm trying to get you some pussy, dog.
Hey, man, I'm saying like that's not the goal at the point right now. It's not to get pussy, you know what I'm saying?
But just put it out there. You might go 3 years and then somebody's like, "You're the guy I saw with that gold cup that one." Like,
that's what's gonna do it.
Big.
That's what's gonna do it for him. Is the cup is just like nothing else except that.
You never know.
Okay.
Might be the gleam.
You're right.
It might be the gleam off your golden cup. I don't know. What's.
I mean, what's gotten me laid more than anything is probably intelligence.
Being a good guy.
No, I mean like just telling a woman something that she didn't know, and then their mind is just like, oh, I didn't know that, and then they're like, he knows things I don't, and then they'd be intrigued. That's usually my go-to move. How often does that work? I don't know, because a lot of people think they know everything nowadays. So, numbers is off. You know what I mean? Calculations is off right now. But I'm just saying, there was a time when that was my go-to.
I mean, Don Ron he just lays down knowledge. I respect that. I'm a nice guy. And I'm handsome, so
What do they say? Pimping means proper inspiration motivates people.
Listen, see, what you don't really realize is love is just a construct. We just that's spirits in the air coming together.
That's See, that's kind of what's the problem with what's going on now. And it's funny that you were bringing that up too, is that like, even with like the whole like inauguration and all the stuff we've been talking about with Trump and all that, is like, people be trying to like hit you with some like out of the box left field thinking, but then it's like, man, dude, to explain how you land on this one thing is so far gone that like, I really can't vibe with it. Cause like even me, like that's why I don't even want to say some of the stuff I say on here. Cause it's like, man, for me to even get to this conclusion, I'm gonna sound crazy, but let's start on point A.
What's interesting. I'm telling you. I'd rather hear that. At least like unless you're babbling nonsense and it's just, the equivalent of some homeless guy screaming into the air. I mean, maybe I'm gonna have to fall off the ship a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like that's kind of what's going on though, because like all the people at that like Capitol building and shit, and like we've talked about this at length, but to me, like as more and more stuff comes out, like it just shows everything we said was exactly that, dude. And like to the point where I'm telling you that I think that like the conspiracy goes as deep as that really was them trying to capture all of the white nationalists that were surviving in America still that might fight a Biden administration going forward. Because like you can't tell me Trump didn't pull that move to get those people not locked up. Because like other like what was the ultimate goal in that? Like, and I don't even think a lot of people are going to wind up getting like jail time. Like, if it had been, like a black rally or something, like it would have been mad people. It would have been 3,000 people locked up. You know what I'm saying? Whereas that's going to be probably like 400, maybe at the most. We'll see, because they're talking about, oh, this investigation will go on for years. But it's like, what do you think would be the best number they could estimate of people that would get arrested from that?
Because mad people looking involved, at the video, I'd say if they got 400 seems generous.
Right.
They keep saying these big name people that are the quote unquote celebrities of that debacle. It's like the shaman guy, that guy's in jail. The guy who put his feet up on the desk, that guy's in jail. Some other like low level people. But if I were looking at the video and you're saying you're going to arrest as many people out of that as you possibly can, I mean, there's probably about 800 people there, maybe 1,000. It's hard for me to really estimate, but
yeah,
if there's that many people, I mean, sorry, you're right by the White House. There was TV cameras. I mean, Daily Show was filming. There was cameras everywhere. They were live streaming the shit themselves. Right. So if you can't find each and every one of those people, then there's got to be a mini conspiracy in there, whatever it is,
But think about this, like just even in what's being shown to you. So like during the Black Lives Matter rallies, they had media getting shot at. You act like them cops don't know what the fuck a cameraman look like, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like they know what they're doing. Like they're shooting at them because they're trying to get them to leave because they're doing things they don't want seen. But in that, you have perfectly, like, that's what I was saying, like the whole thing is you have perfectly framed images of these people. Cause like the one with them pushing the door to me is the most telling, because it's like, oh, cameraman, you're just chilling off to the side and like you can just get this panning angle of the people all the way down the National Mall and then turn up to the building and get the guy, like the whole image all in one. Just like, it's like you're in the perfect spot, dude. Like, and everybody just let you frame that up. Like even me, like as a cameraman, just like in a club and shit, like people are kind of like mad respectful if you got enough equipment and lights. Like people will get out your way. But at the same time, like I've gotten bumped, you know what I'm saying, and dealt with shit. Like this dude literally is just, in a crowd of mad people like that. And like I said, to me, I think 400 is mad generous. I feel like it's probably going to be more like convicted 100 people at the most get something done out of that. You know what I mean? Because to me, like I said, I think it was all put together to be theater, because I think Trump was rallying his people that last time. He know he's not going to win. What he was asking for was ridiculous. Unless he really is that narcissistic, and that's what they're trying to spin you as. I don't think that guy is that dumb. Like, I would hope not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
if you're that stupid and narcissistic to do some shit like that, like, unless it was to a cause. Like, I think he got told beforehand, you're going to do this so that way we can wrap all these people up. Because I think what's really going on is like, America and China got deals that have been made since even before Trump, you know what I'm saying? Like probably even before Bush, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, this is how we're operating. We're going to move with our people like this. Your people going to move like that. And the thing is, like, Americans at the point kind of have the ultimate check piece because they're playing their game. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our money as the playing pieces. So like at the end of the day, like Chinese, regardless, like they're going to do business in American dollars. So even on the conversion of their money, we're getting money on that end too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to do the business, but we're going to do it our way. But then they have their dealings too, where if you're doing business in China, you're going to get fucked over too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's why like they've set these things up already. And I think Trump came in, whether he was supposed to win or not, we can argue. I would say that they wanted him to win because they wanted to cause upheaval in America, because as you see, they came out richer through all this, because what they really did and what our safety as Americans is like when shit starts fucking up, we run to the major private organizations and companies to fulfill the needs of our home. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I don't have any vegetables, so I'll just go in the garden and get some. Like, no, I need to go buy more vegetables. And then if it's going to be a shortage, I need to get extra. So in the shortage, they actually make money. They even talk about it in The Wire. Stringer Bell tells one of the drug dealers, because he's like, man, our dope ain't shit, man. We can't keep holding these corners. He said, look, man, hold the corner. He said, the fucked up thing about this shit is, the weaker the dope is, we actually sell more, because the fiend gonna get high no matter what. So they just buy more of that shit, and then they keep coming back, and we sell twice as much with the weaker dope. And then the dude looked at him like, shit. He's like, the whole time I'm sitting there thinking we getting complaints because, and that's what people did. Oh, it ain't enough food on the shelves. Yeah, but the food that we are selling is that much more valuable to the point that we making bank. Like all the people came up, Amazon, everybody. And now what I think if you watch is going to happen is all that shit created a bubble where the economy is going to start shrinking on the average man. You know what I'm saying? So like all the rich people got paid, and it's like Shark Tank. Like you have a smaller company, you go to Shark Tank to sell your business to a big business. Like that's how it's going to be from now on, dog. Like you're going to always reach a point where it's like, no matter what you do, because like just think of Amazon. Like I'm a painter. Amazon sell paintings, dog. Somebody gonna buy a $15 painting and they can get recreated and put anywhere real quick, or they gonna buy my $5,000 painting that I spent a lifetime of, you know what I'm saying, that's worth more to me. But if you're just trying to put a beauty item in your home and both the paintings look similar, the average person gonna buy the $15 painting, and Amazon gonna keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? Like at a certain point, no matter what you do, that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And those are all, and Amazon is the link to China. If you really look at it, like all Walmart, same thing, like all that shit links back to them. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think all this shit was going on and Trump came in. Maybe he disrupted it, maybe he didn't. We can argue that, but I think then the plan was, in the upheaval of all this, we're gonna put even tighter locks on our people so that moving forward we can do even more. You know what I'm saying? Because really our only strength is that we spend money, dude.
Well, I just think like when you can see that the fix is in, especially with Trump, it like, to sort of simplify this, if you look at Trump and you put him on like a Pokemon card or something, and it was like, what's his strength? Well, right. Trump's strength is to manipulate media for his game. Right. That's his one. That's the only thing I can give that guy credit for. Right.
Cause division. Right.
Yeah.
Confusion,
so regardless of what his motivation is to do, he knows how to manipulate media to do whatever it is that he needs to get done. So if that's what you know his expertise is, and then what happens at, like, let's say the Capitol happens, or even through this whole thing, and everyone's like, oh, well, this guy, instigated treason and all. People are saying this. So to me, when here's how you know the fix is. And all that, the gestalt of everything I just said, and you look and people want him to be like, charged for these crimes. Well, to me, the smoking gun is, what are we trying to charge him with? Manipulating his base to do something treasonous. Well, if his strength is to manipulate media or manipulate people, whatever you want to say, and we already know that's his strength, well, if you want to charge him with treason, then you have everything you need. We know what it is. It's like, why wouldn't you clamor to get this guy in jail if that's what you wanted? And clearly, he's not going to go to jail.
Well, here's the thing too. The laws that they're trying to convict him based off of are some of the most confusing laws in all of our judicial system. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're purposefully kind of like that, but it's like borderline freedom of speech laws, freedom of assembly laws, and then also like election treason and all that shit too. Like, it's very vague in even what is considered treason. And then like the fact that it's all that is tied into a president too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not like, but that's what I think that they already told him that. Like, I think on the way out the door, I think what probably happened is that he kept causing a fuss, and he probably hit him with like, yo, bro, we'll break you off a check real quick. Like, what's
just
the number?
Leave.
You know,
we're gonna have to get you out of here. We thought we were gonna get you in, and we got to get you out. And don't worry about it. You ain't gonna go. Like he got all his. Everyone that was associated with him that went to jail is out of jail.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, to me, I think they made a deal where they were like, we're gonna let you do all that. We'll break you off, get all your people out. You're not gonna go to jail, but like, here's what's gonna happen. We want to get these people. I think they gave him a list of, all those. Like I said, man, because like I don't think it's no coincidence that those people were the ones at the Capitol, and it was allowed to happen, dude. Like, we can't argue enough and stress enough the fact that shit was let go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen all summer, dude, all year long, if they want to assemble a force big enough to stop people from doing that shit, they can do it. You know what I'm saying?
And they will and they'll do it too. They don't have any problem doing it, except when it's this specific shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, wonder why it is like BLM protest. There's literally the fucking U.S. military's there about to drop bombs on people, but they got people literally breaking the windows at the Capitol building, which to me is like the most insane shit. I mean, there's people way older than us saying this, they've never seen anything like it.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
You can do that, and
to me, you can't tell me.
Sorry, go
do
ahead.
that by yourself on a regular day. I made to cut you off. I was saying, like, do that by yourself on a regular day. You can't tell me that shit couldn't have happened, you know what I'm saying, like any other day, any other time. Like it was kind of like on some, I ain't trying to really draw the same comparison, but like if you look at 9/11, everybody's like the NORAD system failed and all these like, oh, we thought it was a test that day and all those things they say happen in like the book, you know what I mean, like that made it so that the planes could get through. It was the same type of thing with that, you know what I'm saying, with the Capitol. It's like, oh, well, we didn't have enough cops that day, and well, we thought it was this and that, and like what my mom keeps saying is like, well, they didn't think they never thought Trump would send those people down there, and it's like he been saying we're gonna go down there online for 2 months,
and
everybody
also,
been saying that.
Perfect example. Your mom guaranteed does not watch like him and his kids going off, because they have platforms where they were literally giving like firing people up 24 hours a day. Not even just Fox News.
Yeah.
You know, they'll get on Twitter and be like, these fucking Dems are fucking trying to take our freedom. We got to fucking fuck them up. And it's like, unless you're tied into that, you're never going to see that. So you don't understand the message that these real hardcore people that you saw down there were getting. And we went over it before. It's like, there's these idiots who just want to follow, be like shit kicker people, and you know, just have like, they're cool with the racism. They're into that. They want that.
Right.
But then there's these old people that have gotten into like conspiracy just now. They've lived their whole life and didn't know about all this shit. But when the veil was pulled off and they heard even the most everyday, for you and me, like the most base level shit that we learned 20 years ago, they're finding out now, and it's like, oh, they'll buy into whatever they can to like make that stop. And
well, not even just that, but they're also being marketed that, dude, because like there's a strong connection between like the people that are anti-vaxxers and Trump people, and then a pandemic happens right after this. Like you can't tell me the shit hasn't been being shaped into this. Like that's what I always talk about when I say there's intelligence and then there's the counterintelligence. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like the information that they put out there to tell you like, oh, this is a cover up of conspiracy. It's like they're showing you that on purpose to see if you will follow down that hole, because then they can pull you in and then pitch you anything. Because once you get brought into that place, now you say, well, what's the answer to get out of it? You know what I mean? Because like that's part of the problem with like even like if you look at like anything that's a problem, like climate change, dude, like you'll get to the point where every piece of plastic you see in the streets to you would think you're killing the world, you know what I'm saying? And like to a degree you are, but like you as that one individual, you can't stop that shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? And like the thing is that if you really start looking into the climate change stuff, the people that are saying that they're for climate change are like actually the coal factories and the deforestation plants and stuff.
It's like
the
anti-smoking campaigns are always by the fucking tobacco company, you know. It's always they're just doing it so it's basically like, yeah, well, you know, whatever. We're gonna say this too, but we're gonna keep selling cigarettes. Fuck it.
Well, you get money both ways that way. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like then it's, you know, you get it coming and going. You know what I mean? And you get that mass appeal because then every little good thing that you do, you can highlight and it seems that much better. But like in the grand scheme of that shit's not fixing anything. And that's kind of what I was saying with the Capitol too. It's like what you're doing ain't fixing that. And the problem, like what is it that brought you to this point? Like, oh, well, they cheated the election and Trump was robbed. Okay, so.
You know, like also military people. That's what was like really bothering me. I get like being disillusioned by maybe the government for putting you in a war that didn't really matter, or you know, some deficit in that way. But to be somebody in the military and you do the exact opposite of why, like what you did in the military. If you're in there for the right reason, you're there to protect America. So then you flip it and go and try to literally attack.
Well, they don't. I think those people don't have that idea of America being one whole. You know what I'm saying? They think of America as them, their America. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what they're saying is they're thinking of protecting their America, which is fine with me. But like I'm just saying, just from like intelligence standpoints, like okay, if you're a former military person, what's one of the hardest things to do? Go and fight a war on your enemy's soil. So you're gonna go to Washington with live ammunition, crossing state lines. You have a felony now. And what I think the ultimate goal of this really was not to lock these people up, but to get them to now not be able to ever vote again. Because if you get a felony, you can't vote anymore. See what I'm saying? Like if you're a convicted felon,
wow.
you lose your right. Yeah. See, people
See,
don't understand.
I don't
that.
even think like that, but I mean that's
Yeah.
like some destabilization.
That's next level
shit.
shit.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
totally next level.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like it's even because like if you look at the margins of the election as well and how tight it was, that was just enough people to have out there. And like I said, those are the radical people on the verge that are loose enough not to just go to Washington, but also go to Washington with the mindset of upheaval. So now you have these red flag people that would have stood out where if you had that person, because like a smart person that wants to fight a war with the government, you say, come on my land and fight me. You know what I'm saying? And then you have booby traps, you have everything. You're set up back in your little hole, hidey hole, popping people where they're all funneling to you. That's how you fight a war when you're outnumbered. That's how the 300 won in the movie. They fought them in the cliffs. You know what I'm saying? Because you just keep bringing people your way. Like, you can't. Yeah, but what did they do? They went to the heart of the kingdom. It's like if you were in Super Mario and you say, hey, I'm going to go to Bowser's castle first. And then all his kids and all of the Goombas and everybody is behind you coming into the castle with you while you going through the door. It's like you got to have a hard ass fight, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Lord of the Rings shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like you're talking about a government wanting to like fight us. Like basically, maybe so. They talk about Russia interfering and like wanting to destabilize us, and I'm sure there's plenty of other governments that want to do that. So,
right. Mad reason. Yes.
Like, what is the cliche thing? Like to use some geek shit in Ghost of like Tsushima. What do they try to do? It's like you divide them and then you conquer them. So like that's exactly what just happened, basically.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And those people let it happen.
Scary, but I don't know, man. The conspiracy shit at this point, it's right out there. It's happening. And I always thought like maybe when I was younger that if we ever saw these things happening in real life, that there would be so many people that would be aware of it because it was so obvious that something would get done to stop it. But everyone knows about it now. And it's just literally, it's like a concept I was talking about with my family about like anything. I mean, really anything in life. You run into these problems where it could be anything, a family problem, something at work, something in the government, whatever. And to get whatever it is figured out, you have to have like a really hard conversation and like a really hard process to get to the next step or to get to the answer. Nobody wants to do that shit. They get to the point where they're like, oh, this is going to be hard. I'm out.
Right. Well, even our relationships with each other, dude, because like me, what I would tell you, what I think is like the superpower of humans or whatever is that when we link up, we can do incredible things. You know what I'm saying? But like the fact that things are so illusionarily divided on so many different levels and so many different things, like so many people just want to go back to their little bubble. Like that whole idea of like a safe space with some new shit and all that. Like, I'm not trying to hate on that concept, but really what that is a place where you're not going to be challenged and a place where you're not going to be questioned, you know what I'm saying? Like forced, into
this is exactly
uncomfort,
what
you know
I
what I'm saying?
To talk
and like,
about today, dude.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Well, but here's the thing though, right? Like, okay, this is what I wanted to talk about, but on some next level shit. And this applies to everything that I've been talking about. There's this thing that I looked up called the ethos and the mythos. And it's exactly what we were talking about when we were talking about the universal consciousness or unconscious or whatever you want to talk, where everybody's kind of linked up. And then there's the fake one. So the ethos is what we were talking about. That's that link up of all our minds in the ether. That's where it comes from. So the mythos is what they're selling us, the television, you know what I'm saying? The myth, the story, the legend. And that's what's happening right now. And that's what the battle is. So like, even what I was talking about just now with that safe space in that bubble, like I said, there's the ethos telling you, hey man, get out there, do all these things, where the mythos is saying, hey, go to your safe space, be in your bubble, be in your pandemic, quarantine. And I'm not going against the idea of being safe for the disease, but what I'm saying is that everything's shaping to where each person's individuality is now being like challenged in a way where instead of opening up and linking up and seeing the beauty in our individuality, we're sheltering it and protecting it and kind of like fighting with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I've been dealing with, like in the pandemic mostly. It's just being like, damn, I want to get out and do shit, man. But it's like, I don't want to get sick. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with that. So like, I'm constantly like on the cusp of like, should I take this risk or not? You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up because we didn't used to think like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, it's showing how the mythos is taking over that ethos where it's like, it's affecting us. And like, I'm not saying that quarantine and shit is a myth or whatever, but what I'm saying is that that's what the storyline is, you know what I'm saying? And like, I think what was going on with even Trump was that he was challenging what the script of that mythos is, you know what I'm saying? Where they were trying to tell him to do it this way and he wanted to do it his way. I'm not saying his way was like, I think his way was probably even more fucked up and dumb because I don't think he really had a plan. But like, that's what I think. Yeah. But like, then you see these other people that are like tied into him and all like the capital and all that. I think that's what was going on is like, I think that even in like the ether or whatever, like I think that like now they're figuring out ways to like manipulate people on that spiritual level, dude. Like I think that like I hate bringing this up because you sound crazy, but like maybe it's the 5G, maybe it's a whole bunch of shit. But like it's like I think people aren't like sleeping the way they're supposed to. I think they're not in their right state of mind. They're not eating the right way. Like some people, you know what I'm saying? And I think that if you're in that state, then
No,
you're
it's a
easily
huge
manipulated.
percentage of people now, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then you're easily manipulated later down the line where it's like, well, man, we can just do this to them and like they won't have the energy even to respond to it. You know what I'm saying? Because like then you start saying things to people like, well, man, you know, like we need to get together and do this and that. And like, and then in the back of their mind, they just want to go back to that safe space. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much easier to just tunnel back and say, you know, I don't want to fight the establishment. You know what I'm saying? And like, and to me, I don't even think that there's a fight that needs to happen. Like, I think that our mindset of conflict needs to be changed in that to battle the government, it's not going to be a physical warfare so much as kind of like some Martin Luther King shit where you got to put yourself on display and be like, put your evil laws against us. And then at the end, when we're tattered, you know what I'm saying? And then the people come back and say, now what? You keep saying you're for the people. Look at your people. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you have to like motivate them that way because you can't fight them. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be where, like I said, like that's what people don't want to understand is like through the suffrage of it all, because like the stock market not gonna keep going up, dog. Like that's inflation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's money. Like it's shit that's going on right now that you can see is fishy, and yet nobody's saying anything. You know what I mean? Like Bitcoin going up high as possible. Then they pull the rug out. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that are happening, like
it's all
mythos, ethos, it's a battle, dog.
It's all exactly if you simplify everything what you just said, it's all like easy, hard, easy way, hard way. So like for just the base level of what you're saying and something that I personally, this is why I wanted to talk about this because I've just been thinking about it a lot. Like when we were living together in LA, and this is me, I'm talking about me personally.
Yeah.
Whenever a new opportunity would come up, anything, the idea of what it would do to change my normal everyday routine would be a huge factor in any decision I make. Like, well, if I do this, I'm not going to have time for this. And usually what I was trying to make time for was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The easy thing, sitting on my couch, getting high, watching a movie, some shit I didn't need to be doing every day. And that way of thinking fucked a lot of shit up for me that I could have definitely capitalized on earlier and like matured myself way earlier in my life if I would have been willing to accept the fact that everything that you really want to get that's positive is through work and through hardship, and to go along with what you're saying usually involves collaboration. Like even us as a microcosm, me, you, and Sean, we always tried to do the shit all by ourselves. We didn't want to involve anybody else because it meant a problem. You know, it was like, well, then we're going to have to involve them. We're going to have to work around whatever bullshit they got. So let's just do it. Let's do
well, even what you're talking about though, like collaboration, I would say that's even on an inner level. You know what I'm saying? Because like what you're talking about, like I got presented with a new opportunity and now I don't want to do what I used to do. Like that's an inner struggle. You know what I'm saying? And you got to collab
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Another
like
version of easy versus hard though. It's like
exactly.
Is it hard necessarily to change your, like let's say we decide like back in the day. You know, we had routines. I worked out a lot. We did shit a lot that was like in a routine. And if it fucked it up, I would always be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. Like we can figure it out. And like, but I would not do shit specifically so I didn't have to get out of whatever bullshit ass routine I was. And this isn't an indictment on myself. Like this is not on anyone else. This is me personally.
Nah. what you're talking about is a real thing, man. Because
Yeah.
like I think a lot of
But
that
I
is
think,
tied
again,
to.
I would say 99% of people know exactly what I'm talking about. 100%. And I'm saying
Yeah,
that 100% knows that, but that doesn't mean 100% of people are bullshitting all the time. It means they realized that and then got over it. You know, I realized I was fat as fuck, and the only way I could get over that was to work hard.
Message.
And once you
Right.
accepted that, I did it, and then I did what I got a result out of that. And I can name many other things. It's like for us, whenever we tried to do something bigger than what we had done previously in terms of a production or something that we were doing as a project, uh, we always got a result out of that through whatever the struggle was to
yeah.
get there. And I don't know
Well, you
why
know what I think it is too.
that. Like me personally, I don't
Yeah,
understand. It was just me wanting to be lazy still. Like I wasn't a lazy person, but it was like my choices were lazy mostly. Does
yeah,
that make
man. Like,
sense?
nah, what you saying is a real thing, man. Because I used to do the same thing, bro. Like somebody would be saying something and like it'd be like, damn, yeah, come out, man. It's gonna be fun or whatever. And it's like, man, but if I get out there, bro, and it ain't
Then I
exactly how
gotta
I
go
want it to be.
back and it's gonna be
Yeah,
a too
right.
long trip, you
Right,
know. Ah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that's with anything you do, it's gonna be a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to realize that, dog. Even if it's something small, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like I even get like that just going to the grocery store. I'll be like, man, I just don't even feel like fucking with that shit because then you gonna have to fucking deal with all that traffic and shit. And it's like it'll be
yeah.
going 5 blocks. You know what I'm
We
saying? But just
all still
you know what I
do it.
mean?
You know,
Yeah,
everyone does that. It just is what
right,
it is. It's human nature.
right. But see, what I think is going on there is that, like I said, like that's kind of like that inner struggle conflict that we have as each individual person, and then like we were saying, like that collaboration of reaching out to another person, realizing that they have that going on as well too, and then like the people that are like fine tuning that balance and understanding it and comfortable with it are the people that are really like the standouts amongst us. Anyone else is kind of, you can see it almost, you know what I mean? Like certain people don't deal with that as hard, or like they do but you don't see it as well, and then you look at that person and be like, damn, what is it about them? You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just cool with realizing that this is the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like they might stumble, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Message.
cause I've seen it, dude. Like I've seen people like come into bars that are just ultimate cool. And it's like, damn, bro, like think about the fact that that guy seems so in his zone right now. And yet that guy wakes up probably and looks at himself and be like, man, I'm fat, I'm ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
everybody else
Dude.
do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like
Hell
if
yeah.
everybody's dealing with that, and like then like I said, some of us are more comfortable, some of us aren't. Like, and I think what's happening is like that whole struggle of realizing that, and then if we can like get over that and then start realizing that like me and you also have united struggles, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we can actually put all that effort that we have of one of our own struggles individually into mass, you know what I'm saying, like fixing or whatever. I think that's really how like you start solving like serious things or like doing great things. Like people talk about they don't know how they did the pyramids. It's like, well, because everyone's mind was set on that one goal. You know what I'm saying? Like you're one man trying to solve the mindset of 1,000 people over thousands of years that kept saying, well, we're gonna do this regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like it might not work this time, but we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? And I think also like people don't think, I think the earth is older than what people think it is, but you know, that's a whole nother talk. But yeah.
How many fucking conspiracies do we got?
I just think that they like the
Man.
timeline is fucked up because
No,
they're
it
basing
is.
it off of
They keep changing it. I
Christianity.
mean, they do
Yeah,
keep
they base it off of Christianity. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of like part of what's fucked up with it. Like they call it after death. You know what I'm saying? Like of
we
Jesus and
can
shit. And it's
do an
like,
Egyptology episode
yeah,
some other time, bro.
right, exactly. But what you're saying though, dude, like I'm wholeheartedly with that shit,
I
man.
mean, it's just great.
I
I
feel like we brought it
like
up in
another thing
different
people
levels.
struggle with. It's like this is why I love podcasts and why I love working with you and the people that I have like a great relationship with, my wife and other people, is that there are some like when you have a real friend, you can be completely and utterly honest with that person in anything. So to have somebody who really knows you and like obviously loves you and cares about what you do and is like cool with whatever you're going to throw at them and is still going to stick around, to have that, like it gives you all the confidence in the world. And I don't think a lot of people now are I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know people younger than me because you and me, we still come from a generation where there was just a lot of things that were so much different. And like the way that we interacted with people earlier in our lives, like when I was in like my late teens, early 20s, like you just got smashed in with people and you had to like, I mean, you had to roll with it. It wasn't like you
I
could be
mean,
in your room and meet people online or there was
right.
none of that shit. So,
Nah, like it used to be
great.
like kids would be in the neighborhood all hanging out and just walk as a group from house to house and just gather
Yeah.
the neighborhood as a group and then be like, we gonna go get into some shit or go play something or do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd just be like 13 kids playing baseball or, fucking knocking on doors and ditching or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like doing shit like that was kind of where we came
And
from. But
it seems like we've lost, like people have kind of lost that. And like, I feel like what with all of the positive shit we get and all the utility and the convenience you get with the internet in all ways. You can figure anything out, you can look something up, you can look up a funny video, you can buy shit, you can watch
right.
shit, you can make shit on a phone on using the internet just like we're doing now. But there's also less connection like to
Well, you know what's scary about that is I was talking about the ethos and the mythos. The mythos is, like I said, the technology and what you're saying, everything at your fingertips, and you're saying it's the easy way. But if we're thinking that the mythos is kind of also the evil way, you know what I'm saying? It's the story that's being sold, it's the veil that's in front of your eyes. So like why are they constantly giving you all this simplification, all this ease? Because at the end of the day, I think you're going to get put in a situation where that ease is gonna wind up being your downfall. You know what I'm saying? It's kind
that's
of
why you got to
like,
keep pushing now, though. That's like the
yeah,
biggest thing is like you and I talk about like working out and doing like we do this creative shit to keep, pushing
right.
ourselves. And, I mean, if you're not doing that now, you're gonna, when everything is over, people like us are gonna be at the like success. We're gonna be success. And the people that aren't continuing to better themselves, I mean, unfortunately, in this climate, if you're not getting healthy, it might really fuck your health up in the long run if you get COVID or, you get sick off this shit. And take it from somebody
Well,
whose health got fucked in the ass. Like, you don't want that to happen.
I mean, this pandemic, man, like I said, it's like the most perfectly shaped crisis for a country like ours because they have the social security thing going on, and then there's also the healthcare thing going on. And the most at-risk people right now are the ones that are dying from COVID. So,
Yep.
like, if you wanted to once again connect a dot as a conspiracy, it's like, how do we just who are the greatest? Like, we can just get rid of all these old people, and then we can move forward and
I
get it
mean,
popping like we want. Like, it's a scary, fucked up thing, but at the
less
same
people are
time,
going to be complaining about not getting their social security like when it's gone. You know what I mean?
right?
Like you're
Well,
avoiding.
that shit's already fucked. That shit's already
Oh, it's
fucked up.
gone.
Like, it's not. Yeah, that's
Completely
what I'm
gone.
saying. Yeah, so like people don't understand that, and like I don't know, dude. Like I said, I think that it's so many deals, like I said, that we've already put our hands in as Americans or whatever, because like they make 100-year deals with other countries, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like the World Bank and all that. Like they'll be like, hey, you want the oil rights to your country for 50 years, 100 years, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like they go in there and dig and make bank. Like that's how those diamonds come out of Africa and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's like, and at the end of the day, people sit there and want to say that like those people want to say that those are legitimate deals because they have the paperwork to back it up. But then if you actually were to go down there and look, you'll see, some child working in a sweatshop. You know what I mean? And then it's like, so this is blood money
It's,
at
I
the end of
mean,
the
it's
day.
another example of we all know it exists and we choose to take the easy way and not acknowledge it and go through the problem solving
Right.
to make that go away. It's like
Right.
any problem. There's a solution to the homeless problem, but how could anyone, it's like, how much work would it take to figure it out? A lot. Well,
Right.
I mean, then it has to be done. And nobody, like, that's what I'm saying. That step, nobody will commit to that. The people who
I
commit to
mean,
that part of life where they're committing to the problem solving aspect and like actually doing something to achieve your goal, those are the people that succeed. I mean, that seems like such a simplistic thing to say, but there's a lot of people that don't have that. I I mean, me, dude, like myself, the first 20 some years of my life, no, I wasn't like I wasn't living my life like that. So everyone can sympathize with this, I think.
Well, I think it's just a coming of age.
I'm being brutally honest, Aaron. These are hard truths that I'm telling right now.
Oh, I mean, I think it's just, I mean, if you want to get even harder with the truth, I think a lot of it is tied to, marijuana usage and shit. Like, I think it motivates people to want to be lethargic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because like I've had weed smokers tell me, the people that have quit, be like, man, I wasted so many years of my life to the pipe, So like, just telling you, like, all your dreams will be up in smoke with that shit. Like, and then like I've heard people also tell me you can't do it sometimes and start and stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you either just have to not do it or just do it. You know what I'm saying? One or the other. So
I don't know, man. I feel like anything with that, it fucking did affect my life, but I can't say.
I mean, you think you could just stop? You think you could just stop for like 4 months?
I mean, just cause somebody wants me to, and I need to, definitely. I mean, let me put it this way. Let's say somehow magically the pandemic went away and I like went on a trip to go visit my family. I don't smoke like when I'm in Virginia. So yeah, that's usually like a week and I never have a problem. And if I wanted to, I'll just use that and just keep going. It's just like,
so what I'm saying is what if like, well, what I'm saying is like, you're saying if something needed you to, what if you needed you to?
I mean, like, yeah, for sure.
Like honestly, young. Don't think I need to. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like young, sober-minded, childlike Matt that exists in the past before his mind ever got clouded with the marijuana. Like, how long has it been since that mind has led the altar? Yeah, like if you were to be like the guy from Glass or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like the head ego. When is that sober-minded ego got to be in the forefront? Like, how long has it been?
You know, honestly, I can tell you because when I had cancer, I couldn't smoke and I didn't use it at all. And I think the switch in my mindset did come when I didn't have it. I've been able to consistently motivate myself after having, like, just to be honest, cancer's a motherfucker of a motivator, dude. Like, my motivation is that in every aspect of my life, like I'm on bonus time. So I have to maximize it. So if I smoke pot at this point, if I can still do what I'm doing, if it starts fucking that up, like fucking me being creative up or fucking me doing well with my job, I'm going to stop. But it's not fun. We have nothing to do in California. I can't even anywhere in California. So, at this moment,
like honestly, if it was me, I'd be like trying to pitch like every landlord like lowering the rent out there. I'd be like, man, this ain't even LA no more, man. This is fucking
try, dude. I mean, we tried everything to get it. I got them down on the garage. They tried charging me $200 a month for a garage, and then they went down to like 100, but I won't pay that. Still, I would never do that. But I mean, I'll never. Jesus. To me, what would have to happen for LA to do that? There's got to be way more upheaval and way more people leaving because at this point they still have. Well, this is LA. Everyone wants to be. They'll just throw whatever bullshit they want at you. So it is what it is.
I'm like, man, fuck all
put it this way. I live in Long Beach now, Aaron. Remember how far away that was? That's where you got to get a decent deal on a fucking apartment out here.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I'd be out there looking at them prices like, dude, I just can't, man. Because you can get a whole house with like 2-3 acres other places where you just sitting there living fat, dude. Living fat.
After today, bro, I can move to Ohio and live in a fucking mansion right now.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Just fucking sitting with your
money, bro.
Kick your feet up in the air, man. It'd be like moving to Thailand or something where you're just a king now off of fucking $30 and shit. Like, live forever and shit. It's like, man, all I had to do.
Where's Batman just fucking throwing money out of a sack? Like, I'm from LA. Oh, this shit don't mean nothing.
It's like, all I had to do was move to Alabama and became a king, guys. Who knew?
I mean, Sean moved from here to Tennessee, and it was it was the equivalent of a 50% pay increase just moving.
Oh, dude.
I mean, fuck.
Dude, that's why I kind of low key kind of want to move back there, man. Like, only reason why I really didn't want to stay out there is just because, like, my family wasn't out there really anymore. But shit, man, like, like I said, like it was weird because all that stuff happened. But man, I'm trying to tell you, dude, like I made more money in Nashville than anywhere, dude. Because like you can make 14 an hour.
It's a great.
Bro, you can make 14, making 14 an hour out there. I had with benefits and all that, I made more money there than I did making $16 an hour in Virginia, in Maryland. Like that's crazy. How you make less money but have more money? You know what I'm saying? But it's because they don't got that income tax shit. So that's where it gets you, man.
Hopefully LA keeps deteriorating. My job's just like, we're moving to wherever. I'll move anywhere. Like as long as the property value ain't shit, like take me out of I keep moving south. I'm just gonna keep moving further.
Nah, they go be like, we moving to New York, and then you gonna be fucking even more.
No.
Dude.
I'd have to bite the bullet and just move to Philly and just live in that trash heap of a city for a little bit.
Dude, that's a terrible drive, but also I just couldn't mess with living in New York, dude, or any of them cities like that, man. That's how LA felt to me, man. Like just when you just like get on the bus and it's like you see everybody waiting and it's like, oh man, this must be like people waiting for like a whole bunch of different buses or something. It's like, nah, everybody getting on yo bus.
Yeah.
Like it's like about to be 50
late,
people
and it's been late.
Right.
Actually, it's not coming, so figure it out.
Right, exactly. Like
New York's dope, but I would never. I want to go there for vacations if it's like normal again, but nah.
At least people leave you alone there. Like that's what I know. At least in New York, people kind of will not mess with you. But in LA, like if you make eye contact with a crazy person, they are saying something to you, dude. It doesn't. You don't know it's crazy until they're right up on you. You know what I mean? Because some people are crazy and they look normal, and then it's like, oh hey, it's like, oh fuck, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like a homeless person, and then you make eye contact with them, and they're like, oh, time to put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Like let's do this. So.
I mean, that's the liability of living out here. I think what I enjoy about New York is, for all the bullshit that people used to say, like the cliche, like, oh, they're assholes. Like New Yorkers are just assholes. Like I found them, like the people in New York to be super nice as fuck. Like everybody I've ever met when I was there was way nicer than most people you'll meet in LA, regardless of if they're crazy or not. I mean, even, you lived out here, man. You know the quality of most of the people you meet out here. It's just like a
terrible, bro.
Surface level type of person. There's very few genuine people out here that I've met.
I ain't like it, man. It was weird, but I mean, out here, back east, man, it's cool, dude. Because people are like, just more normal ass people, though. Everybody's not trying to like do some spectacular, like I'm gonna be the next Johnny Depp shit. And like, to me, what I realized, dude, when I got out there, and like why I kind of. Honestly, maybe even like 2 years in, knew I wasn't about to be out there too much longer. Was like, I was like, oh damn, dog, like we kind of fucked up and wanted to be like on the big screen, not realizing that shit was dead. You know what I'm saying? Like to a degree, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, we got to move.
It wasn't totally dead yet. It wasn't. We didn't like. We saw the writing on the wall, but we weren't willing. We didn't really understand what we were seeing at the time, I think.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because like, if you look on it now, dude, like. Internet is really where someone like us is meant to thrive anyways. And that's why I like that we're doing the podcast, because it's kind of set up for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then with all this talent that we had in video, if we wanted to expand and doing something else, like that's why we do need to probably do some shorts and stuff again, just to show people it's like, yeah, I mean, we can still do this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy, for us, because we ain't did nothing but really just gotten better at it, you know what I mean? But especially now, people are all stuck in a house wanting content. Like I've been watching mad old shit, so it's perfect time for that, for a resurgence of like outside the box media. But like in terms of just like the traditional concept of like a movie and what it used to be, I think we just were like fucked up to even go out there, because like even look at the celebrities, bro. Like they haven't changed the celebrities in a movie. Like who's the new breakout star? It's somebody that's related.
He's like a leading man still.
Well, like, but think about it though. Like the person that follows him is his son. Will Smith's son is the next Will Smith. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not like you're gonna be like me, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be an actor and like want to pop up and just like. I think like the last person I can even think of that is like the dude from Eminem, 8 Mile, like Papa Doc, that became Hawkman and shit. That dude, what's his name? Anthony. Yeah, he's one of the few people that I've seen that kind of came, but he's been acting since a child too, if you really pay attention to his career. But he's one of the few people that you've seen kind of like step up and like even like Michael B. Jordan kind of too. They're kind of like kind of come out of nowhere. But like even those guys, they started when they were kids, dude. So like if you weren't out there from day one, you know what I'm saying? Like those casting people have seen you from that long ass time. If you're just like some random person's like, oh, I'm gonna come out here and do something, like you might get a small part in some shit, but you're not gonna be like I said, you're not going to be the next fucking Tom Cruise, whoever you want to name. Like it don't happen really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you could say Batista maybe did that shit. Like he's kind of like the follow-up of The Rock, but even those guys, they were in show business. You see what I'm saying?
He was
like,
a wrestler for decades, you know?
Yeah, like you're not going to be Ashton Kutcher, dude, and just walk into LA and be
Batista,
like, oh, you know.
like you telling me he wouldn't get hired. It's just like, that's a look. You know what I mean? It's nice he can act too, but it's like,
well, if you look like that, you're competing against him now. So it's like he has Guardian of the Galaxy credit as Batista versus you, big swole dude that want to be in a movie.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Big
like,
swole dude, he ain't in shit. It's like you ain't those like if you ain't The Rock, him, Momoa, you know those.
I mean, look at you know who Kai Green is? He's like Mr. Universe, that big dude. He's one of them steroid guys.
Yeah.
So like that dude is one of those people that we going up against like Batista. It even has Mr. Universe cred against him, but then people will be like, oh well, Batista is a better actor than you or whatever. And it's like, you know, it's negligible, I would say.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like
maybe I don't really speak on Batista's acting skill, but hey, to like just because we're talking about movies, something I just saw that I totally forgot to say something to you about. Dude, guess who? First of all, they're making a Mortal Kombat movie on HBO Max. Guess who's playing Jax? Just think of who I love in this world.
Oh, Michael J. White.
Dude, he's popping off everywhere now.
Don't give me hope.
I mean, to me, that makes me feel like that movie's gonna suck, dude.
You son of a bitch! You piece of shit! You fucking goddamn fucker! Listen, fuckhead, you have fucking crossed the line.
Probably
like I ain't trying to hate on Michael J. White, but like he be in some like questionable budgeted movies.
Shut up, man. Mike, don't listen to this motherfucker.
Nah, bro. Like that last one, the last one I seen where he had the UFC one, and he was like a video.
Never Back Down.
It was, I think it was Never Back Down 2 or something like that. But it was like him trying to explain like this fighting thing, and I was just like, bro, why did he agree to do this, man?
Michael,
like even in the scene, he's not even into it. Like you have to throw your punch like this, or else it won't work.
Look,
or if you do it like
the guy's been working
come on, man,
and swole for like 4 decades. Okay, give the guy a break. Let him fucking coast a little.
Okay.
No, maybe he's been.
Bro, I'm subscribed to Michael J. White's YouTube channel, so I get to talk shit about it. Are you subscribed?
Please, everyone who's watching this, the 5 people who watch this, get on Michael J. White's page, give him some love because the man's a legend. So please,
yeah, like, but at the same time, because I'm subscribed to him, I get to put an opinion. Get a bigger budget on some of your movies, please. I know that's a big thing to ask. That's Hollywood,
and I'm saying
I get it.
He's getting back in the limelight, so I'm thinking maybe some more money is going to get funneled into the MJW train, and we can really enjoy those pecs and that solid karate, dude.
But even that guy, dude, like you said, that's like 30 years where it's like, you know, me, that's the lane I'm trying to be in, sexy swole, dude, getting my acting lane. You're not going to pick me up for no movie when I got to go against fucking Michael J. White, are they? I mean, maybe, but shit, man, I got to put on one hell of a performance.
Do you see where I'm coming from, you jive, motherfucker?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's millions of women and men in this world, Aaron. Some people like Michael J. White. Some people might love a nice Don Ron. It's just like, it's a wine.
I mean, I feel you. See, I think, but like, I feel like I would
That's why the internet's great. We can all be a channel. And it's just like, hey, if you want to tune in. Tune in.
What you have to do now. You have to go and act like you're an English person, and then it does an American accent, so you can get discovered in America as an Englishman. So I have to move to like Scotland, and then just be like, show up to an audition out there, and they'd be like, your American accent is so great. Where are you from? Oh, my family's from Leeds. Like,
Aaron,
do that show.
Can I blow your mind for a second?
What's that?
I've been English this whole time, mate.
Right. That'd be where they
My
catch you.
American accent's bloody impeccable, mate. I can just go in and out of it just at will.
Oh man,
it's insane.
See, that's where they would catch you up, because then when you're on like the Tonight Show and shit, and they're doing the movie, they're like, "Oh no, we want to hear you speak like an English." I never break my American character anymore. It's just natural to me. You guys, I was only there when I was a baby, So
I take this as a racist, as some sort of form of racism. So please, I'm
just saying, because like
fluid, so I don't choose to be nationed like that. I can be whatever I want.
I mean, honestly, that should be a thing, dude. Like, I feel like if you're a citizen right now, like if you're locked in one of the Trump cages on the Mexican border, you should just be like, it's racist and fucked up to do me like this because you're saying I'm a Mexican, you know what I'm saying? Versus would you do an American like this and then just hold that shit at world court and be like, because if you can be mad, somebody can get mad at you for calling them a woman.
I mean, if you could get somebody to hear that, they would do something about it. But the problem is, those
don't you think?
In some fucking pit someplace, and nobody gives a fuck. So.
Oh yeah, but honestly though, like to me, that's even a more realistic thing to be bringing that argument up with than like the sex thing. Like I'm totally fine with you identifying with your gender however you want, but just saying like, don't you think it's more fucked up that you can't identify as some other place simply because you were born somewhere? You can't control where you're born.
I mean, I feel like that's gotta change. That's like one of the things that they're gonna have to. I know nobody wants like a one world government or anything, but like having this citizenship shit where somebody can get literally fucked in the ass and just because they're born in some shithole, and then there's no the steps to get out of that shithole are so astronomical that they'll never attain it. So it just seems really.
It's not even just that.
Really,
not even
just the nation was built on. If you want to really go back in the day and shit, that's.
Well, I would say this.
I made a really great point and then fucking fucked the land up. Sorry about.
I'm sorry, Matt, but no. What I was gonna say is that what you're saying is not even just that though, because you're saying like that they were born in a supposed shithole, but really what it is that we've decided that where you are isn't worth building up to make it better for you. Because it shouldn't be that you have to move somewhere else to get a better life. You know what I'm saying? It should be that we as a people say, hey, y'all shouldn't be living like this. We live better. We have ways to make what we have over here. Let's just give y'all this so then y'all living like us. Because you've seen Biden is actually talking about there's supposed to be a one world currency at a certain point. He's going to try to do that.
I mean, he's also. That's a conspiracy. Conspiracy theorists are about to fucking shit themselves.
Oh yeah.
They start talking.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh hell yeah! But I mean, that's kind of what Bitcoin is doing too. But then they're trying to also make the minimum wage $15, which that's gonna kill the small businessmen. Because like even when I worked at an individual small business company, he said the same thing. He's like, I ain't gonna be able to afford to hire a whole bunch of people because I gotta pay them so much and get benefits and all that. And I was like, well, I mean, it's like what we were saying earlier. They're making it so that the bigger companies, are the only ones that are going to be able to hire people. You know what I'm saying? Unless you decide to work off the books or some shit. So, it's all types of games being played right now. Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, then you have to work for yourself because then you can't hire anyone to help you expand. See what I'm saying? Unless you can afford the $15 an hour. But me, I wouldn't want to hire somebody unless they were making that anyways. Because I've been in that situation.
I feel like shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, I'm getting rich because you're working for $8 an hour for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I appreciate your hustle, but like, you should be doing more because you're smarter than this. Like, that's if I had an employee, that's how I would feel. You know what I mean? So, I get it, man. Like my job, like I said, they threw me that little $2 raise at that place I was working at, and then it's like, oh, thanks, guys. Then what they were saying was like, well, we did a survey of the area and found out we were one of the lower paying companies around. It's like, oh, no shit. You don't think when the rents cost this much in this area and you guys are barely paying enough for someone to even pay half of that for one check? Like, dude, they weren't even paying 2 G's a month to work at that place, dog. That's why I just wouldn't, I was like, I don't give a fuck about this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I made more money than that working at a fucking grocery store. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, dude. Like, what are y'all doing, man? So just some bullshit all around. But
I mean, whatever. I felt like, that's been the case forever. It's like, if you live in, especially if you live in a big city, like when we lived in LA, it's like, how can you think paying somebody $14 an hour to do anything is going to make any difference in their life? Because it doesn't.
It's like I have to be here all day, right? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, so then where do you think I live? It's like here, and then I go home and I have to pay for a place to stay when I'm not here. So how much do you think that costs versus
You
how
need
much
a
you're
car,
paying me?
Aaron. You need to have a car too.
Right. Oh, and you gotta have a car.
And you
Oh,
need to have a
right.
car so you
And
can get.
insurance, right? And gas and insurance and all
'Cause
that, right? Exactly.
you
So it's
have to
just like,
live out in fucking Monrovia, California or something.
right.
So your poor ass has to drive in. It's gonna take forever. My fucking money's getting wasted.
I'm
This is
telling you,
fucked
man.
up.
Like, and they do
That's
that
how they treat
everywhere.
you. I
Like,
mean, for real. It's
yeah,
like
they do
you
that
gotta
everywhere.
and then they make you feel like shit when you ask for a raise. I've been in companies like that where it's like, hey, I need more money. And then instead of them being like, oh, the quality of your life is that bad, let me give you money. They're like, well, we can't really
Right.
do that right now, but we'll revisit. It's like, okay, all right, well,
So giving me an
I
extra
don't work for a company like
$300.
that now, but definitely in the past.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then that's the thing too. Like, you're asking for like 300 more bucks. It's like just so that like I'm not sweating as hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if your margins are so small that you can't break me off 300, I don't want to work here anymore. You guys are poor as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I feel too. But I'm just saying like that's going to be a struggle for small businessmen. That's kind of one of the things about the whole Democrat Republican thing. But like to me, the problem with it is that they always want to make something better by making something else, less than, you know what I mean? Instead of just being like, well, what was fucked? It was just fucked up. We need to just fix this. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make it so that healthcare is fucked up privately and you're required to get it by the government too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get into this and be like, hey,
And
y'all,
make
like,
it so damnable hard that a normal person could never figure out how to
right,
get
right.
a situation done. You gotta like either know somebody who can navigate you through that's an expert, or you like get basically put to the point of pulling every hair you have on the top of your head out of your so that you don't kill somebody, out of frustration.
I still don't, bro. That's one of the most confusing systems ever. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know that, why don't you say this isn't
Fix
working?
it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know,
feel
if
me?
if the answer is money, then you've been printing all this fucking money out just to, stabilize.
Right.
Well, stabilize that. Print it out. Whatever
help the people.
You got
yes,
trillions
but,
in deficit. So apparently another trillion ain't mean shit. Put it into the fucking problem, and if that's the only solution, then money isn't hard to print. You've shown us that. So if that's the case, figure out the problem.
We live in some crazy.
These are the things that need to happen, Aaron.
Yeah, well, I think we've hit a bunch of topics. I don't know how much.
No, man. I honestly, dude, we talked. Somehow we are like psychically connected because you ended up talking about exactly what I wanted to. I wanted to just sort of, I don't know. We were just talking about that whole shit with Trump, and I thought, it'd be fun to just sort of shit on him one last time. But I'm glad that we didn't even do that. His fuckery is over with, and we sort of talked about some shit that's really important, which is.
Well, I told you, man, like to me, that whole thing with him is all linked up too, dude. Is that like they're playing out the internal battle that I think a lot of people are having in front of your eyes, dude. Where it's like, what am I choosing to believe? You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what we're in right now is a war of belief, dude. You know what I'm saying? And even like what you were talking about bettering yourself and shit, like, do you choose to believe in yourself? Like that's that question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like
when you do that is a huge thing. Like that means everything in the world. So it is something that's, important to talk about. It's cool. What you were saying about like getting affirmations of that you're not alone. Like these are things that other people experience in life. I've quite honestly, like podcasts sort of did that for me, or when I was like getting more, just sort of like finding my personality again. It's just cool to hear like, oh, that thing that's been inside me that I worried to tell somebody, this successful person is admitting the same exact thing, to know that. And especially when you have a friend that's telling you the same shit and you're that honest with each other. Dude, the success that I've had, I can attribute it to a lot of things, but I think that's a big part of it too, is just enjoy, like liking myself. Believing that I actually am.
I'm telling you, man. Now, I will tell you something else that I heard that fucked me up and all that thinking. I don't want to get dark, but that same concept that you were just talking about, of like all that. Well, no, I heard a guy say that there really is no happiness. You really just instead get more comfortable with your daily suffering. So,
Yeah.
like, instead, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of being like, oh, like, this makes me like happy and I'm great, it's like, really, you're just satisfied with what you got. You know what I'm
It's like
saying? It's like,
running, you know, it's
yeah,
like running gets easier. Like you can run longer, but it always sucks. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just the
right.
same shit. It's like, it just is what it is.
Well, I seen there's that meme where there's a hamster in a wheel and one of them and there's another one like getting pushed by the other one running real hard and it just says there's two type of people in the world. And I think that's really what it is, man. It's like when you decide that you're comfortable with the daily suffering or whatever, I think that's when you're like running in the wheel. And then when you just are just happy or whatever and in pure bliss is when you just letting that shit just push you and it's like it's getting run
I
over.
mean, it could
You
be
know
either
what I'm saying?
or
It's just on
though,
a
but
ride.
I like
Yeah.
running it. I think it's like activating your mind to like one or the other. It's like if you can activate your mind to enjoy that running in the wheel and not just like live in that way, then to me, that's when you're really getting it. So that's where I'm at right
Tell you,
now.
man. Well, I mean, we all struggle because there's like devotion, there's vocation, there's recreation, there's all these different things, you know what I'm saying? There's the things that you are required to do as well, you know what I'm saying? So there's all those different ways that you try to separate your life, dude. But like at the end of the day, man, like it's you have to look at it as all being one, you know what I'm saying? Because like even like when you say like running sucks, like running is the same as reading because it's stretching your mind just like it's stretching your legs, you know what I'm saying? And like all that shit links up, you know what I mean? Or like who's to say that like making yourself smoke a lot of weed doesn't make you like a better athlete or something, like or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A better thinker or whatever, you know what I mean? Or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like it just all depends on like I think like looking at it as being one system instead of just being like, well, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna turn myself into this. Like this is work mat. This is home mat. Whatever. Like what if all that is just like the constant thing? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too vague on that one.
I mean, it all ties in, but I mean, I think really what it boils down to is it's like you'll find these moments in your life where, especially like early on, you might, because you don't have the experience, choose the easy way out because it seems like the best choice, the most comfortable way. But it's just like getting old, man. Like I'm old, and I just found like it's it's unfortunate that like all the growth that I've had is just doing and like abiding by sort of cliche things like, oh, just put in the hard work, like, or like with exercise, like it's just doing these specific things that everyone tells you to do. You just have to activate your mind to listen to it. And when you actually do that, it just makes sense, you know, like all that shit kind of makes sense the older you get. So
I think a lot of it is knowing what the destination is, man. Like that's
yeah,
what kind of like my problem is being like, where do I want to focus that attention to? You know what I mean? Because like even with like starting a company or whatever, it's like I want to be rich, but like I don't want to be like rich, you know what I'm saying? But then that's like a stupid mindset to have like coming into
I
like
don't think about any of
doing
that. I
something.
just think about
You know what I mean?
what the
Like
shit is first, and then
yeah.
whatever comes after. That's when if you are getting too rich, that's a great problem to have, Aaron.
Yeah.
So
But like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. Like it's a weird mindset to me because like I don't think that my ultimate goal is necessarily to obtain a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more so to get the feeling of like accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if that, cause like even like in video games, you know what I'm saying? Like you do stuff and like you finally beat it, but you don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody give you a cookie out the machine of a fucking PS4 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, why did you do it? You just want to just successfully achieve something. Like I think it's more so that, but
yeah,
then like I don't know, man. Like I think when you have that clear picture of what that is, that's when you actually get it. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times, like I just be like, man, I just want to do good. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, in what way? You know what I mean? Because like I'm good at a lot of shit. So it's like, how do you then zero in on like the thing? You know what I'm saying? That's
that's
gonna
all.
make you
That's
feel that
life,
accomplishment.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what I was worried
That's all I'm
about
saying.
for
Like,
so long was like, I don't know what the thing is, but I don't like, I'm not really sure anyone really, I mean, the real artists, no, like those people that obviously zeroed in on whatever that thing is for them are obvious people, you know, like a Kanye, a David Bowie. You might not like what it is, but they zeroed in on whatever passion it was that they had, and they accepted it and they went full throttle at it. And that's why they're famous for whatever reason. So it's like, for me, it's not even necessarily like my thing. It's just, I think my goal, I guess, if I had to put it in words, is just to, it's not really tied to any sort of money anymore, which it used to be, which I think is kind of something that sort of glitched me out. It made my life a lot more stressful because I wasn't making money. But is more just to be like I I guess just to like myself, because I did not like myself for a long time. I wasn't proud of myself. I thought I was fucking up, and all the success that I've been finding, especially very recently, I've had a lot of fucked up shit happen to me, and I got over it, health wise. And like I said, I'm on borrowed time. So as far as all that shit I was worried about, I don't worry about it anymore, at least for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, me, like, no, I feel you on that, man. Like me, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like the deeper that you try to dig into all that stuff and like what really matters, like that's kind of where my thing is. I think sometimes that I might be too deep on like the spiritual side of it, to where it's like, well, you can't be chasing material wealth and all that, whatever. But it's like, if you have those things, it brings about the comfort for you to then step into a better spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
just
well,
like
now
a
I
balance thing, it's like,
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
need to have like, you don't need to be fucking balling out, like having some fucking like a gold car, whatever the
Right,
fuck.
right.
But it's like, there's nothing wrong with at least like having things. It's like, if you can do it and if you're able to like achieve your goals and that's not interfering with your life, like, I don't really think, I don't know, I can't really speak on if it's holding you back. Like, if like being, I think it's good to be in tune with that side of you anyway, because
Right.
that's something that a lot of people can never wrap their minds around at all, that probably is the terrifying thing in those people's lives. So for you,
Right.
you're kind of able to sort of rationalize and think about that. And I think I am too, in my own way. But I feel like any sort of negative shit that you like, that bothers you, if it's something that's really fucking you up. And I think we all sort of get too into maybe one lane, and every day, every once in a while we get in a rut, or we get focused on one little thing. And you'll find whatever that balance is that's off now, or that you think's off, it's just a temporary thing. You'll see that. And having discussions like this that's how you can sort of like fast track getting over those things too.
Right.
And it's,
Well, that's what
people
goes
just
back to
don't
what we're
like to
saying
do
too.
that.
Just that's what we're saying, going back to just people helping each other, man. You know what I mean? So
Well, I gotta say,
no doubt.
personally speaking, like, to you, it's been everything for me to have somebody like you in my life. Because quite honestly, I don't have a lot of people in my life like you that are like as close to me, like as a brother. I have maybe one other person in my life I could say that as. So it means it's a huge difference in my life. We might not have always been the most successful duo, but just having somebody that like respects you and is in your corner and has your back and shit means a fucking lot. And a lot of people don't get that. And I think a lot of people, like, that's why podcasts are so popular, is that a lot of people don't have relationships like you and I have, or whoever you want to point to. But it's nice to maybe sit in and listen to it and feel like you are part of a discussion like this. Like, some people don't get that. Some people don't have friends.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I'm telling you, man, like, just this shit is like therapy for me, dog, because it's just trying to delve into the deep recesses of my own mind, where to understand, like you said, that somebody else is also in the same abyss, trying to be like, man, how the fuck do you make sense of all this shit? That's
yeah,
really
man,
the key.
believe me.
That's where I think the whole title of Ain't Life Funny come from, because that's what it is. It's like, like the perspective of two people's lives being like, damn, bro, like them shits intersected, like, don't at the same time in so many ways, what I mean?
And that statement can be shitty and funny and positive, and it can be everything, because at some point you could be in the midst of some shit and just be like, fucking ain't life funny, motherfucker. Like, I think it is a very
This shit changed my attitude on everything, dude. I'm telling you, like, I don't even get mad no more like I used to, dude. But I just think that I figured out what it was that pissed me off. So it's like I spent so many years like in Nashville being pissed off, dude. But it's because I was doing shit that I knew I didn't want to do. Like being in the service industry, dog. Like I knew from day one, like 'cause I used to work in the back where I didn't really have to deal with customers. And I used to tell people, it's like, man, I don't really want to be out in the front because I don't want to deal with people being, getting on my fucking nerves and shit. And it's really not that they're being assholes, but it's just that like
you just don't want to be there, man.
Yeah, I don't want to be fetching you shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, oh, because like me, like when I go to eat places, dude, like I know people don't have this mindset all the time, but like I don't bother the people that work there really. Like it's like if it's some shit that makes sense and like they might have forgotten, like they're right there by the table. It's like, let's say I got some waffles and like, hey, I wanted more butter than what y'all brought, and you're right here, like, hey, let me get some extra butter. Cool. But it's like if I don't see that in the time span and like realize I don't have it, then it's like, oh, I'm not gonna get it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But it's people that, will flag you from across the shit, yell your name. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like all hinged on that one thing and like want to be served. You know what I mean? Like that's what they come there to be served. You feel me? And it's just like me. I was never down with any of that shit, and I knew it from the rip, but got tempted with a little bit of money. So I think I was just unhappy because of that.
That's why I was unhappy in LA, because I was working that bullshit ass job, and it was just like my whole life was not doing. I was in a place where I should have been doing what I wanted because it was right there, but I couldn't because I had no time because I was working this dumbass, whatever job it was, and you just feel helpless, and it is it's a trap. And that's another thing. I mean, I realized like I couldn't work. So it was like when you're sitting there wondering about, what's making you happy, or like you're living in this situation where you can't get out of and you just have to sort of live in it. I don't know, man. Like it's just all these, I keep having problems presented to me, and I might stress out a little bit, but I keep overcoming whatever it is. And it doesn't really, it just, all of it seems so minuscule now. You know what I mean? Like the shit that I worried about when we were living together, it was like, I can't even believe that I did, I'm
telling you, bro. That's how I look back on it now too. Like I'd be like, damn, bro, I used to work so hard for the same amount of money. Yeah. That's how I'd be looking back at shit now. It's like, dog, I just be chilling now. And,
I mean, that's fun of life, like you don't realize it, but I mean, we had a lot of fun, and also it just is what it is, man. Like some people are blessed with some sort of ability to navigate life perfectly, I guess. I don't know any of those people, but you make decisions and you make commitments and you commit, and it doesn't always work out. And that's in every aspect of life. So I think like, do I have a lot of regrets? Yeah, but it's all shit that I don't really have any regrets now, because it's one of those things like when you do actually become happy, it's like, well, I could regret what I did in the past, but if I didn't,
still got you where you got.
Yeah, I'm here now. Like I don't want that to go away. So it's one of those things where that's a real fucking, it's dope, man. That's the most dumbest way I can like end this, but it's just like cool to, after so much, I mean, I'm not a successful man by any means. Like I'm not some rich dude, but to go through all the shit that we have gone through and like be able to feel like we've actually both sort of gotten to whatever the next level was and gotten out of that, it is an amazing feeling.
Same here, man. Hell yeah.
So I realized, one, we didn't introduce this episode, so but we're gonna end episode 39 on that, guys. This has been
we could just archive this one for later. This
the positivity episode.
Yeah. I mean, but because like I don't know, maybe just use the first half of it and then cut it at a certain point and just be like, that was the end of episode 39. Like tune in for more uncut content later. You know what I mean? Just like with some shit like that. But yeah, that's what's up, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, it's good talking to you, and thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week with another one. I don't know what the fuck we'll talk about after this, but we'll figure it out. So, Aaron, good talking to you, buddy. We'll see everybody next time. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.